ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి, జేఈఈ అయినా, నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.
Good morning, welcome back. So let us continue 7th year group. So today's concept is hydrogen halides. Hydrogen halides. Right. Let us start with preparation methods. The first one is direct synthesis. Halogens combine with hydrogen directly. So halogens, so let us write the general representation. Hydrogen H2, halogen general representation X2, right? Gives what? 2HX, 2HX, right? H2 combines with halogen to give 2HX, where X can be fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. Fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. So H2 plus F2 gives 2HF, H2 plus Cl2 gives 2HCl, H2 plus Br2 gives 2HBr, H2 plus I2 gives 2HI. But the conditions under which the reaction takes place are different. Why it is different? Because difference in the reactivity of halogens. So let us see the first one. Suppose if halogen X is fluorine, hydrogen combines directly or fluorine combines readily, reacts readily, right, vigorously, explosively, and in the absence of light and in dark conditions. The reaction is highly exothermic, so it may be even explosive in nature. Next, chlorine reacts explosively, in the presence of light, vigorously, explosively in the presence of light. Coming to bromine. Bromine reacts non-explosively, and on heating. Non-explosively on heating. Iodine reacts only on heating, in presence of catalyst, say platinum, and is reversible, and reaction is reversible. So this is the difference in the condition. Fluorine being most reactive reacts readily, vigorously, explosively, and even in dark condition, even in the absence of light, the reaction will take place. Hydrogen and chlorine reacts explosively, so exothermic, but it takes place in the presence of light. Hydrogen reacts with bromine. The reaction is non-explosive in nature and it takes place on heating, reacts non-explosively on heating. Coming to iodine, iodine reacts with hydrogen only on heating and in the presence of a catalyst like platinum. Catalyst like platinum, and the reaction is reversible. The reaction can proceed in both forward and backward directions. So coming to preparation of HF and HCl, second one, by the action of concentrated sulfuric acid on ionic compounds or ionic substance. So let us see how H2SO4 is used to prepare HF and HCl. So I am taking the salts of fluorine, for example calcium fluoride, ionic solid, reacts with H2SO4. So it just interchange of cation ion anion. You have to write the dissociation of the compound, interchange the cation ion anion. So here CaF2 Ca plus 2 F minus, H2SO4 H plus SO4 minus 2, interchange the cation, what we get? Calcium sulfate ion HF. Now similarly I can take NaCl plus H2SO4. So interchange cation and anion, NaHSO4, sodium bisulfate plus HCl. So how to remember this? H2SO4 is less volatile acid. I think you know the meaning of less volatile acid, which cannot be easily vaporized. The boiling point is high. Less volatile acid. Whereas others, HF, HCl, etc., they are more volatile acids. A less volatile acid displaces more volatile acid. This is more volatile. So more volatile acid from their salts. A less volatile acid displaces more volatile acids from their salts. Or simply you can assume like this, a better salt is formed, salt of strong acid and strong base, releasing the weak acid. That is how you can also understand. But relatively these two are also strong acids. So the better way is to remember like this: a less volatile acid replaces more volatile acids from their salts. Now this method I cannot use to prepare HF and HBr. This is very important point. This method cannot be used to prepare HBr, HI. Right, what happens? So let us see. Suppose if I take some salt Kx plus H2SO4. So if I write, what I will get is say KHSO4 potassium bisulfate plus HX. Right. This HX reacts with unreacted sulfuric acid, converting it into H2O plus SO2, right, plus X2. Where this halogen X is bromine iodine. So if I take a salt of potassium bromide or potassium iodide, treat it with H2SO4. What happens? The first step is same, that is potassium bisulfate plus HX, that is HBr or HI. Once HBr, HI are formed, the Br minus in HBr, I minus in HI, they are good reducing agents. Br minus and I minus are good reducing agents. So there will be unreacted sulfuric acid. So the liberated HX, that is HBr, HI, they react with H2SO4. Now why? Now here X is present in -1, that is Br minus or I minus. Sulfur is present in +6. So sulfur is present in its higher oxidation state, therefore it is oxidizing agent. X minus, that is Br minus, I minus are better reducing agent. So a better reducing agent and a good oxidizing agent will react to release Br2 or I2, right? That means I cannot stop the reaction at this stage, that is HBr or HI, because the reaction will continue and stops with the liberation of bromine or iodine. But we are studying the preparation of hydrogen halides, so that is HBr, HI. So I cannot get HBr, HI. Even if I get, the reaction cannot be stopped here because X minus, that is Br minus I minus, are good reducing agents. They react with sulfuric acid, unreacted sulfuric acid, releasing sulfur dioxide. Now see here, plus 6 to plus 4. If I see halogen minus 1 to 0. So in the case of bromine and iodine, KBr, Ki, the reaction do not stop at HBr or Hi, but it continue till liberation of halogen, that is Br2 or I2. So this method cannot be used to prepare HBr and Hi due to the reducing nature of Br minus and I minus. Now, how do you prepare HBr and Hi? So, next method, by hydrolysis of trihalides of phosphorus. So, phosphorus combines with bromine or any other halogen, because red phosphorus is highly reactive, to form Br3. Right. The formed phosphorus trihalide, when treated with water, undergo hydrolysis, forming H3PO3 plus HBr. So, remove each halogen and place one OH, POH, 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 nothing but H3PO3, orthophosphorus acid. So, here let us try to balance this. 3 bromines, 3 HBr, 3 plus 3, 6. Okay. So, 3 H2. Similarly, I can write for iodine, 2 phosphorus plus 3 I2 gives 2 Pi3 on hydrolysis. Remove each iodine and replace it with OH. So, what we get here is H3PO3 plus 3 Hi. So, the other method is by using H2S. H2S is a good reducing agent. So, let us see. So, when H2S gas is passed through halogen, right, sulfur is present in its lower oxidation state. Therefore, it acts as, it itself will undergo oxidation, it will act as reducing agent. It reduces halogen, right, resulting in the formation of HX plus sulfur. This X should be chlorine, bromine, iodine. If you use fluorine, you will get SF6, because fluorine is more reactive, SF6 is more stable. We have already discussed that point. So, anyway, when H2S reacts with X2 on heating, you will get 2HX and sulfur. So, this is minus 1. So, let us study the properties of hydrogen halides. Right. So, what are the different hydrogen halides? HF, HCl, HBr, HI. Right. So, coming to the physical state, HCl, HBr, HI are gases. Even HF should be gas. but it possesses hydrogen bonding, therefore it is found to be liquid under normal conditions. So there exists hydrogen bonding, it exists as associated liquid, it exists as associated liquid due to hydrogen bonding. Right. So because of this hydrogen bonding, the melting and boiling point of HF are unusually high, abnormally high, because you have to supply extra energy to break the hydrogen bonding. So if you see the melting point order, generally based upon van der Waals forces, if you predict higher the atomic size or higher the atomic mass or molecular mass, higher will be the surface area, higher will be the van der Waals force. So the highest one should have the hydrogen halide that should have highest melting point should be Hi, right? Then it should be HBr, then it should be HCl, then it should be HF. But the observed order is Hi, that is correct, then HF, unusual because of hydrogen bonding, then you will get HCl, then HBr. So remaining thing, it is based upon van der Waals force. Similarly, the boiling point is also high. The boiling point of HF is higher than that of Hi. Right. So you have unusual position of HF here and here. Right. Now coming to the next property, polar covalent character or polar character. First, all these hydrogen halides, they are covalent in nature. So all hydrogen halides are covalent in nature. With some ionic character. So if somebody asks you, they are covalent, right? Now how do you explain the ionic character? The same thing. So here the shared electrons between hydrogen and halogen, how they are distributed, that depends upon the electronegativity difference. So if I move from fluorine to iodine, as the size of halogen increases, electronegativity of halogen decreases. Therefore, the electronegativity difference between hydrogen and halogen decreases. So if there is less electronegativity difference, then the covalent character will be more or ionic character will be less. So where you will find more difference in electronegativity, the answer is between H and F. As the size of the halogen, fluorine to chlorine, as you move from fluorine to iodine, size of the halogen increases, electronegativity decreases. So if electronegativity decreases, the difference of electronegativity between H and X also decreases. Therefore, ionic character order HF greater than HCl greater than HBr greater than Hi. Right, based upon the difference in the electronegativity of hydrogen and halogen. So the next one is thermal stability. So what do you mean by thermal stability? The energy you have to provide to break the bond between the atoms. So nothing but proportional to bond energy. Now bond energy is inversely proportional to bond length. Now as the size of the halogen increases, the HX bond length increases. As the HX bond length increases, bond energy decreases. As bond energy decreases, thermal stability decreases. Right. So thermal stability order HF has less bond length, therefore high bond energy, than HCl, than HBr, than HI. Once again, as the size of the halogen increases, bond length, internuclear distance increases. That means bond length increases. If bond length increases, bond energy decreases. If bond energy decreases, that means you have to supply less energy to break the bond. So thermal stability is less. Therefore, HF is thermally more stable, HF is thermally least, HI is thermally least stable. Next, reducing property. Reducing property means ability to release hydrogens. So it is inversely proportional to thermal stability of hydrogen halides. So the one which can release easily hydrogen is HI. Therefore, HI is good reducing agent. HI, HBr, HCl, HF. Next, acidic strength. Now here you should not predict based upon electronegativity of atom, right? So because this acidic strength depends upon various factors, the energy required to separate the H plus ion in aqueous solution. So here the observed acidic strength order is HI greater than HBr greater than HCl greater than HF. So it is easy to break HI bond compared to HF bond. Therefore, it readily releases H plus ion. Therefore, it is stronger acid compared to HF in aqueous solution. So this is about hydrogen halides, different orders. All these orders are important. Next, so let us study HCl. HCl is an important compound. Now, before the discovery of chlorine, HCl gas was produced. Before the discovery of chlorine, in 1772, it is called as marine acid air, later muriatic acid. After the discovery of chlorine, it is called as hydrochloric acid. So before the discovery of chlorine, HCl gas was known as marine acid A or muriatic acid in 1772. Later, after the discovery of chlorine, it is called hydrochloric acid. So coming to the preparation methods. Right, first. So already we have just now studied how to prepare HCl. We take a salt of chlorine, treat it with concentrated sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid is less volatile acid, therefore displaces more volatile HCl from its salt. So I am writing the same equation. So if I take sodium chloride, which is salt of NaOH and HCl, you have HCl. HCl is more volatile acid compared to sulfuric acid. Therefore, what we get here is sodium bisulfate plus HCl. This is in cold condition. If you heat it, then NaCl reacts with H2SO4 forming sodium sulfate plus 2HCl. A less volatile acid replaces more volatile acid from its salt. That is how we have to remember. So this is the best method to prepare HCl. Now whatever the HCl that is obtained, how do you convert this moist HCl to dry HCl? So HCl can be dried. This is important bit, by passing over concentrated sulfuric acid. So concentrated sulfuric acid is a good dehydrating agent. It will absorb all the water, right, releasing HCl. Both are acids, so they will not react. And one more important point is HCl cannot be dried. Right? HCl is acidic in nature, so you cannot dry it by passing through basic dehydrating agent because they may react with HCl. So HCl cannot be dried by passing over substances like calcium oxide, which is basic in nature, right, and P4O10. So what is the reason? Because the main aim of dehydrating agent is it has to remove water. It should not react with our main reagent, but here they will react. See here, CaO, basic in nature, reacts with HCl, right, to form CaCl2. So there will be loss of HCl. Similarly, P4O10. So you will get POCl3 plus water. HPO3. 3 plus 1, 4. Yes. Because of this reaction, HCl cannot be dried over by passing, right, basic dehydrating agent like calcium oxide or sodium hydroxide as well as P4O10. It can be dried by passing over concentrated H2SO4. Coming to the physical properties. Coming to physical properties, right, HCl is neither combustible, that means it do not catch fire, nor supports combustion. So it neither catches fire nor supports the substance which continues to burn, right. So it is neither combustible nor supports combustion. Okay. Next point is HCl in dry state doesn't behave as acid. So in perfectly dry state, it doesn't show any acidic behavior. In moist state, if there is any water vapor, then it shows acidic behavior. Turns blue litmus paper to red. In dry state, it is perfectly covalent, doesn't show any acidic behavior. It is heavier than air and it fumes in moist air. Now HCl has affinity to water. It absorbs or collects water from the moistured air or air that contains moisture. It collects these water molecules and forms a small droplet which appears as white fumes. So which we call it as fumes in air, right. So once again, HCl has affinity towards water. it collects these water molecules, it like a dehydrating agent, collects these water molecules, form small droplet which appears as white fumes, which we call it as fumes in moist air. Its boiling point is 190 Kelvin and melting point is 160 Kelvin. So, change the color of litmus paper, but in moist state it dissociates and shows acidic behavior. For example, it turns blue litmus into red. It is heavier than air, that means its density is more than air. It fumes in air, right? What is the meaning of this? HCl has the ability to absorb water. It collects water from the moisture and forms small droplets which appear as white fumes, which we call it as fuming in air, moist air, right. So, coming to the chemical properties. So, as we already studied, in dry state does not show any acidic nature, but in aqueous state it dissociates and shows acidic behavior. So, starting the reactions. So, in aqueous state it is good acid, so it reacts with metals. Say sodium reacts with HCl to form NaCl and releases hydrogen gas. Similarly, you can write for magnesium. With metal hydroxides. For example, sodium hydroxide, NaOH reacts with HCl, so resulting in the formation of NaCl and water. Similarly, you can write with magnesium hydroxide. So, metal hydroxide, it will react with metal hydroxide. It reacts with metal oxides. With metal oxides. Say Na2O, basic oxide, reacts with HCl to form NaCl and water. With metal hydroxides, we have completed, right? Metal bicarbonates, metal carbonates, they are also basic in nature. Na2CO3 plus 2HCl gives NaCl plus H2O plus CO2. All these reactions you have studied in first year group. With bicarbonates, with metal bicarbonates, say sodium bicarbonate for example reacts with HCl, NaCl plus H2O plus CO2. So, it reacts with metal hydroxide, metal carbonate, metal oxide, metal bicarbonates, etc. It reacts with strong oxidizing agents, right. In the last class we have studied strong oxidizing agents like KMnO4, we have studied in the last class, K2Cr2O7, hydrogen peroxide, etc. So, how chlorine is released in different process, industrial and lab process, we have studied these reactions. With fluorine, HCl reacts. Fluorine is strong oxidizing agent, it can liberate chlorine from HCl, but bromine and iodine cannot liberate because they are weaker oxidizing agent than chlorine. So, HCl reacts with fluorine to form HF and Cl2 gas. with ammonia. So HCl fumes in ammonia due to formation of ammonium chloride. You can see white dense fumes, white dense solid or white dense fumes due to liberation formation of ammonium chloride. This is the test for identification of HCl or ammonia. With silver nitrate, HCl reacts with silver nitrate. So this is simple ionic reaction. H plus Cl minus in aqueous solution, Ag plus NO3 minus. Interchange the cation anion. So what we get is silver chloride, a white precipitate of silver chloride and nitric acid. Although nitric acid is strong oxidizing agent, AgCl do not dissolve in nitric acid. So you will get a white precipitate. But this white precipitate dissolves in excess of ammonium hydroxide. So the white precipitate of AgCl when added to which you add ammonium hydroxide, excess ammonium hydroxide. So why it dissolves? The silver chloride complex AgCl forms or turns into a soluble, more stable complex. It forms a complex with ammonia. So silver ammonium. This is the complex you will get. Soluble complex. So which is AgCl, which is a white precipitate insoluble in strong acid but soluble in excess ammonium hydroxide due to the formation of a complex. So what is this complex? How to explain the bonding? All those things we will study in coordination chemistry. Alright. So this white precipitate is soluble in excess ammonium hydroxide. Remember that point. So fluorine we have covered, ammonia also covered. Right. Next, HCl, 3 parts of HCl and 1 part of nitric acid. We call it as aqua regia. So if you have a mixture of 3 parts of HCl and 1 part of nitric acid, we call it as aqua regia. So why we are studying aqua regia? Nitric acid is a powerful, strong oxidizing agent. Almost all metals dissolve in nitric acid. Some are passive to it. But there are some metals called noble metals which do not dissolve in nitric acid. For example, gold, platinum, iridium, etc. These metals, they do not dissolve in nitric acid, although nitric acid is a strong oxidizing agent. But these metals, noble metals, can be dissolved in aqua regia. Can be dissolved in aqua regia. What is aqua regia? It is also a mixture of nitric acid, HCl. If I take only HNO3, they are not dissolving. But in the presence of HCl, particularly Cl minus, the Cl minus increases the oxidizing power of nitric acid, right? Because of which we can dissolve the noble metals like gold, platinum, iridium in it, this mixture we call it as aqua regia, right? So once again, noble metals. First, noble metals. What are noble metals? Gold, platinum, iridium. They do not dissolve in nitric acid. Do not dissolve in HNO3. Although HNO3 is a strong, powerful oxidizing agent, but dissolve in aqua regia. So why did they dissolve in aqua regia? Due to increased oxidation power. in presence of Cl minus. So that is the chemistry. Let us see one example. So this is the mechanism. So we take nitric acid, powerful oxidizing agent, concentrated nitric acid, which dissociates into H2O, nitric oxide and nascent oxygen. You will get nascent oxygen. Now this nascent oxygen in the presence of HCl, gold in the presence of HCl, nascent oxygen, what happens? It oxidizes this, it removes this hydrogen. How many oxygens we have here? 3. So I am writing 3. So how many water molecules I can remove? 3H2. I have to remove this oxygens as water. So how many hydrogens I require? 6. So writing 6 here. So gold forms, gold shows plus 3 oxidation maximum, therefore AuCl3. Gold shows maximum oxidation state of plus 3. Auric chloride, Au plus 3, so it can combine with maximum of 3 chlorines. So we have 6, therefore I have to write 2 here. So this is the balanced equation. The auric chloride form again reacts with HCl. So to form a complex, soluble complex, AuCl4. If I remove this H, you will get AuCl4 minus. So gold becomes AuCl4 minus. In the form of Au it is insoluble, but in the form of AuCl4 minus it is soluble. That is how you can separate, purify gold, right? This reaction can be used in metallurgy. So overall reaction is 2 moles of gold plus 2HNO3 plus 8HCl gives so 3 water plus 1 4 water. So 3O cancels, 2AuCl3 cancels, 2 plus 6 8HCl, 2HNO3 2 gold, 3 plus 1 4 water. So this is the balanced equation, or you can simplify further. AuHNO3 plus 4HCl gives HAuCl4. Similarly, you can write for platinum also. So here Au becomes AuCl4 minus. This happens in the presence of HCl. If you don't add HCl, there will be no reaction. That is why the oxidation power of nitric acid is increased in the presence of Cl minus, because Cl minus is capable of forming a complex which is soluble in nitric acid. So similarly, you can write for platinum 2HNO3 gives H2O plus so it means the nitric acid here, right? 3 plus 2, right? So we have to write 2NO. Right. 2HNO3 gives H2O plus 2NO plus 3 nascent oxygen, 3 plus 1, 3 plus 2, 5 plus 1, 6 oxygens, 2 hydrogens, 2 nitrogens. Yes. Now, platinum maximum oxidation state is plus 4, so it combines with 4HCl. So what we get is PtCl4 plus water. So here we have 3 oxygens, so I have to write 3 nascent oxygens. Or let us balance it first. So PtCl4, 4HCl, 2 hydrogens, 2H2O. So we require 2, but here it is they are releasing 3. So multiply this entire reaction with 3, multiply this entire reaction with 2. So once you get PtCl4 2 moles, treat it with HCl again, what we get is H2PtCl6. 2 hydrogens, 2 platinums. So 2 to the 4 chlorines, 4 plus 4, 8. Plus 4, 2 platinums, 2 to the 4 hydrogens, 2 4 the 8 plus 4, 12 chlorines, 2 into 6, 12 chlorines. So if you add all this, what we get is, here we get 3 platinum plus 2 to the 4 HNO3, 3 4 the 12, 13 14 15 16 HCl, it is Cl6, 3 to the 6 water plus 2, 8 water molecules plus 4 NO. So we have 3 platinum, so let us write 3 here. How to get 3? Three 4 are 12 plus 6 18, 3 6 are 18, 3 2 are 6, 6, 3 platinum, 3 platinum. So here you will get 3. That's it. So reaction with salts. How HCl reacts with salts? Let us see. Let us start with Na2S. Na2S can be considered as salt of NaOH H2S. H2S is weak acid, more volatile than HCl. So when HCl is added, this is less volatile. Now it becomes less volatile. Less volatile acid replaces more volatile weak acid from its salt. So what we get here is 2 NaCl plus H2S. H2S is weaker acid. Similarly, I can write number of example. For example, Na2SO3 HCl. Na2SO3 is salt of NaOH H2SO3. H2SO3 is weaker and more volatile than HCl. So what we get is 2 NaCl plus H2SO3, which dissociates into H2O plus SO2. If I take hypo Na2S2O3, same reaction you can write. Na2S2O3 is salt of NaOH and H2S2O3. H2S2O3 decomposes to give H2OSO2S. So all these things you will study in hypo. So what we get here is 2 NaCl plus H2O plus SO2 plus S, nothing but H2S2O3. Even sodium nitrite NaNO2, NaOH, HNO2. HNO2 is anhydride of two different oxyacids of nitrogen, so both are released here. So what we get is NaCl plus HNO2. HNO2 is anhydride of two different oxides of nitrogen, one is NO and other is NO2 plus H2O. So let us balance two sodiums, two nitrogens, 1 plus 1, 2 nitrogens, two hydrogens, two chlorines, count oxygen, 2 2s are 4, 1 plus 2, 3 plus 1, 4. So coming to the uses of HCl, right. HCl is used in textile industry, dyeing industry and leather tanning industry. It is used in textile industry, dyeing industry, leather tanning industry. It is used in the preparation of chlorine, Cl2 and other chlorides like NaCl. It is used to clean iron sheets during tin plating. Tin plating galvanization. So the iron sheet should be removed from the rust. For that purpose, HCl can be used. HCl can be used to clean the iron sheets before they are used for any other purpose. And used as aqua regia. Used to extract noble metals like gold, platinum, etc. like this. These two reactions. And used to extract glue in animal tissues and bones.